What is going on? Welcome back to another edition of BPIU. So essentially this is going to be a show that we continuously do for the agents that are looking to get educated on things that I'm doing that works, things that I'm doing that didn't work, things that essentially that I was never taught when I was a new agent. And this is a lot of things. You know, as a new agent, I was kind of just thrown into the weeds. It was during the recession and I said, I don't want to go back to 9 to 5. I'm going to make sure this works. So I started educating myself. I started putting myself out there. I started making calls. I started doing ads. I started overspending, underspending. It was a lot of trial and error, to say the least. Then when I went to Halstead Property, it was a little bit different. They had a training program. There's a couple of agents that got up there and in front of about 50 or 60 other agents talked about what they would do, say marketing or negotiating or listing presentations, mailers, you know, a bunch of things that they went into, but they didn't really get into the specifics. They didn't really give into the areas that actually transform their business. They were just short of that. And that's the interesting part, is that I see it as, if I tell you the information, there's probably only about 10% that are actually going to do it. Okay, 90% were like, oh, that was good information, that's good to know. And there's a lot of people that just take it and they say, that's good, that works for him, or that's good, that doesn't work for me, or that's good, I'm not gonna do anything. Whatever the case is, there's a ton of people that just literally just take the information and then run with it. And those are the people I'm talking to. And whatever you want to do with it, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, maybe your business is different. So we're going to be talking about systems and checklists, okay? This is something that I discovered probably about 5 years ago. I didn't hear it from anyone. There is a book called Checklists, but essentially and then E-Myth, highly recommend both of those books. Checklist essentially was written by a doctor, and he said even the smallest minute things going into surgery, he had a checklist. He said he knew what side he was going to do the surgery on. He knew, you know, the area, the amount of people there, the scalpels, whatever else he needs in surgery. He had the area that he was actually going to do surgery on. He actually had that as a checklist. You know, and if you think about it, not malpractice, but when you go in, most people die in a hospital through surgery. Not most people live, okay? And obviously invasive surgery or deep surgery or long surgery, that's where most people die. Not the minor ones like cutting bones and things, not cutting bones, but broken bones and things like that. So if a surgeon had checklists, yes, we're not a surgeon, but we need checklists. We get a new buyer, we get a new seller, we get a new listing, we have a listing presentation, I'm talking to a for sale by owner, or we have a mailing coming out, or we have a newsletter coming out, and I have checklists. I say, I need to create the image, I need to link it to the blog, I need to then send it out to these people, I need to pull the list in from somewhere else, I need to then test it, I want to make sure the links are working. These are all checklists just for the newsletter, let alone the 79, 80 point plan that I have when you actually have a listing. A listing, our listing checklist is probably about 3 pages. It's crazy. It's just what we're going to write on social media per Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and it differs between each of them. What are we going to put in the description? What are we going to have as the actual post? When are we going to launch it? We're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. How often are we going to be actually sponsoring it? Are we going to be putting it on Facebook and sponsoring in the area? Are we going to put it on StreetEasy, sponsoring it on StreetEasy? There's so many things. Are we going to do direct to voicemail? What kind of mailer are we going to do? All these things are in the checklist. So this is what I recommend, because you're not going to be able to get everything, but you're going to be able to add to it, and you're going to be able to subtract from it. So all the time I subtract and add to it. You know, perfect example is that I just literally found out yesterday that YouTube has an algorithm that if you have something in the title that would be conducive to what that's about, so we have BPIU, we have Buyer Show, we have Seller Strategy, and we have Hot Topic. Those are the 4 shows that we have. And if we put it in the title, that will actually trigger the YouTube algorithms to put it into a certain playlist. Instead of me actually going in, logging into YouTube, going to that exact video, that's something that I can completely eliminate now. That was actually for a virtual assistant, to be honest. But you have to consider the areas that can be automated. So this is what I recommend, is you take everything that you do every single day, or the things that you do constantly. I have a new buyer, what do you need to do? Set them up on an RLS newsletter alert. You gotta bring them to, bring them the buyer's guide. You gotta meet with them for coffee. I literally have that. Thank them through an email right afterwards, maybe write them a note. These are basic things that we have to be like, oh, I forgot to do that. And you're essentially freeing up RAM in your head. You're essentially freeing up your mind from thinking, I forgot to do that, I forgot to do that. You just have this checklist and you just label it, that buyer or that listing, and then you do it. The best agents already do this. And the funny thing is, they talk about systems. Like, what are systems? You know, they use this complicated term. I remember hearing this for 8 years. Like, what is systems? What are they talking about? And then I read the E-Myth and I was like, oh. That's what it is. You're essentially automating everything, whether it's an actual automation through, say, your CRM or automation through an actual person. Either way, this is the exact same thing that we do. It's the Hilton, whether it's in New York or LA. It's pretty much the same thing. They're going to fold the towels the same way. They're going to be, you know, welcoming you the same way. They're going to be inputting you into the system the same way. They're going to give you the key card the exact same way. It's just ding, 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 ding. And the reason being, I talked about it, which is what is the future of real estate? The future of real estate is really going to be a good team that can implement the exact same system for the exact same experience. A good team that has a checklist that gives the exact same experience across the board. That is going to be the future of real estate. It's individual agents, yes, they're going to be there, but you still need a showing assistant, you still need a regular assistant, maybe marketing. The big brokerages, the big houses, what value are they, like, honestly, what are they really doing? What value are they bringing? Are they bringing marketing, maybe brand awareness, you know, a desk for you to, you know, sit at? That's about it. Like, let's be honest for a second. So that's pretty much why I left. So when I actually started implementing this, I noticed two things. Number one is it was a lot easier. In other words, I said, when I get a listing, this is what I do. It was in a spreadsheet. Actually, now it's still in Google Doc and things like that. But I said, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that. And then I started saying, okay, within this, within adding to social media, I have YouTube. Okay, within YouTube, the description, the title, when I'm going to actually launch it. Do I put the outtakes before the actual professional video? And then I go over to Facebook. I say, do I share that to my personal profile? Do I upload it to my personal profile? What do I actually do? And then once you actually have that, and then you start adding to it, you understand there's a lot of sub-tasks. You can then take that and then give it to someone. It's already written down. It's a manual that you can give to a VA, virtual assistant, or an actual assistant, you know, or marketing. When we get a listing, this exact newsletter is going to go out. You know, on the back, it's going to be a little bit about the description. On the front, it's going to be the address and just listed. And you're going to paper the entire building. You're going to paper your database. You know, there's someone that might be watching right now. I heard it from Tom Ferry as an event, and the person's in New York City. He's doing very well. He's one of the top agents, if not the top teams at Element, and he does $250,000 in mailings a year, $250,000 worth of mailings a year. First of all, that mailing company, if that person leaves and goes to another mailing company, that's a big profit loss of that person. You know, I don't know what the mailing actual profit is. You know, maybe 25%, might be even lower. But anyway, highly recommend you actually start implementing this immediately, and in the smallest regards. Even, you know, for me, I even systematize when I wake up. I put my clothes in the same area. I put my gym bag in the same area. It's already packed up. I literally wake up, you know, do my morning routine, and then I just pack it away and I'm out. I don't even want to think about it. It's kind of like Zucks or Steve Jobs that said, I wear the exact same thing. I don't want my mind to be talking about what am I going to wear? What am I going to put on? What kind of shoes? He just wore the exact same thing. He said he wanted to use his brain, his creative brain, for other things, not what am I going to wear? What am I wearing? Do people like this? So I highly recommend you guys go check out the E-Myth, incredible book, Checklists by, I forgot the name of it, it's a doctor. Unbelievable book, because it really just parlays everything that you need and the importance of it. You know, an airplane pilot goes the exact same checklist every single time. And basic things is the cabin door closed and locked. Basic things, am I actually in a seatbelt? You know, things like that, if they wear a seatbelt. So highly recommend checking out those books. And I also just recommend the practical advice to this video, which is you got to start implementing checklists. Then you start adding to the checklist. You have the exact same checklist every single time. You're not duplicating it anywhere. Put it on Google Docs, and then you just start adding, subtracting, depending on your business. It's completely malleable. It's free flowing. Once you add to it, then you could give it to someone else. That person then implements it, and that's essentially what I'm doing in August. You know, we've been very aggressive with the content, but we haven't been really aggressive with the call follow-up, because I'm building out the systems to give to the VA that I don't want to do most of these things. You know, virtual assistant, I don't want to do that. So essentially you're offloading your tasks that you don't want to do to someone else, so you can onboard more time, more clarity of where you're going and building your business. So hopefully this helps. This is the first time, subscribe to the video. If you're watching on Instagram TV, awesome, thank you very much. We're actually launching 2 more Instagram accounts that's going to be taken care of by our favorite person who's going to be watching this right now, Morgan, who's over in California. She's our marketing, I don't know. We'll just say copywriter for now. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Have an awesome day. Obviously, Facebook Live as well. And of course, enjoy your week.